I've had a really impulsive thought. I need to get it out there now. So I believe that my beliefs only that all religions, as long as they're, go along with what the stuff that I've been talking about that comes from the Bible, I can't help thinking that everyone's right. And I'll explain myself, because I know straight away you'll be like, no, everyone can't be right, because everyone has such different beliefs and they argue about them a lot. And my little, I don't know how that would work. I haven't got all the answers to that being the, explanations to that being the answer. However, the more you read the Bible, the more you get to know God, and the more I realise He's such a God of variety. I don't see how He would only limit salvation to one group of people when there's so much variety. Everyone's different. Like me, you can't be around groups of people. I don't think I would be condemned just because I have social issues. I just can't see it. He's a fair, just God. That's what I've been talking about for hours, isn't it? How just and fair He is. That's what I've been talking about that for hours, because the Bible talks about that for hours. In many different ways, giving many different examples to emphasise the point, how fair and just He is. And to be just and fair, to say, oh, it's only one group of people and those people have to be adept at socialising and be able to conduct themselves constantly in a manner that is appropriate to the reputation of that organisation. And, people like me with behaviour issues and social problems, that's impossible. And I don't think, there's probably a lot of people like me, I don't think we should be segregated because we can't mix with a large group of people. From what I can tell, my beliefs, I think religion, from what I can tell, religions are there, or as referred to in the Bible, tribes, every tribe and tongue, nation, tribe and tongue, country, religion and language. So yeah, and it says people will be taken from every nation, tribe and tongue, every country, religion and language. So it's people coming from every religion. So you're like, oh, okay, that makes this other thing a bit more, seem more like an accurate theory now. That this variety thing, now you've got confirmation that God will take people from every nation, tribe and tongue, every country, religion and language. So I'm like, right, okay. So that I was like, well, that's everyone, isn't it? Who isn't described by the phrase nation, tribe and tongue? That's everyone, isn't it? Everyone. So okay, I thought, oh, that's more. That seems more like what I've learnt about God and how He is. That now it's from every country, religion and language. So yeah, he's just and fair. Oh, I forgot my. Oh yeah. So a little example I wanted to think of was where obviously I never mean any disrespect to anyone. I honestly want to take I take that God and Jesus view. I just want everyone to get along. I really do. I want everyone to get along. And there's a lot of divide. And I've felt for a while that there's a lot of divide about small things. And I often say, I think to myself, well, look, these small things that people argue about, different groups, like different things, they can often take a lot of time, can't they, to argue about. And while that person who's devoted to God is arguing with another group of people about this, like what I see as little things, what are they not doing? So they're not reading the book of life. That's so much information. You will still never ever be able to take all of it in. They're not reading the book of life and pondering over the things that they have already learnt and the things that they're looking could learn. All that's gone because now they're arguing with someone else, trying to convince someone else what they believe. And all that time and effort is spent on what I think is a little thing. And I'll give an example of a little thing. And this is how my mind works, and I mean no offence to anybody. And I don't just mean humans, I mean no offence to the Almighty Jehovah God, the Alpha and the Omega, and no offence to our Lord Jesus Christ, who came to earth and gave everyone everything He possibly could. With nothing in return, any glory. Just He held a mirror up and it reflected straight back up to God where it should go. So that's beautiful, isn't it? So I know there's groups of people, or you know, who say that, oh, Jesus was, because earlier in my video, this is what I think of it, I referred to Jesus as being on a stake. Did you notice that I said stake? And obviously it's, everyone knows it as cross. So the reason I say stake is because, okay, why do people wear, you know, what people wear crosses around their neck with a picture of Jesus on? The picture of Jesus on the cross is Jesus, our Lord Jesus Christ's worst period in his time on earth. It's his most torturous, agonising, intense, horrible time, when he was dying like a piece of meat on a bit of wood. Okay. So it really, yeah, it proper gets to me. I tell you what, when you realise it's the truth, like, you know, and you realise how much this bloke's done for us, it proper makes you angry. But anyway, and so I think, okay, so it's the significance of what he did. That's what. Why else would people wear something, such a torturous scene, forever being imprinted on everyone's mind? When you look at someone and you glance down, it's around their neck, a reminder of that torturous scene from someone who did such an amazing thing. And the answer I came up with is, it's the significance of that moment, of what he did. It's the significance of that moment. And that means that it's I had a better word for it rather than significance. It's a representation of something, isn't it? It's just a representation of what it means. It's not what it is, it's what it means. It's that in that moment he saved the world by giving his life for everyone, and made sure his Father's honour was honoured and the world was saved, and it wasn't a waste of time. So in that moment everything changed, and that's why our Lord Jesus Christ is our Lord. He earned it more than anyone, and now he's ruling over, he's doing what he can within the parameters of the judicial process, and you know, him and the angels, he governs the angels, the army of angels that look like something out of a horror movie. Remember, they're not made in our image, they move. Do you know what I imagine them as? You know, 13 ghosts, where in the house the people, they're moving, but they're moving. I sound camp again, so I hate that, I don't mean to. They're moving, it's just me, obviously, you know, it's just a false representation. They're moving, and they're moving like Matrix times 3, aren't they? And every time they move, their face like changes, like to a different creepy gesture. So every time they're like, you know, and that 1 minute they're in the face, next minute they're back at the other end of the room. Yeah, that's how I see angels, mate. I don't see why they would look pleasant when they're in an army coming back to destroy wickedness. Don't see why they would look angel and whitely. I don't get that at all. You get your clothes mucky. And it even says in Revelation what they're coming back as, and it is absolutely terrifying. And yeah, they're something out of a horror movie. They'll move like 13 ghosts real quick. They'll probably look scarier, and they'll be real. Not, you won't be able to pause it. None of that. So yeah. And getting back to so the reason I called it a stake was, a stake is a bit of wood. Oh, sorry. So the cross thing, now we've established that it's just symbolism. That's it, symbolism. It doesn't mean anything really. It's the symbol of what he did in that moment and what it meant. Okay, so I see this the stake, or i.e. the bit of wood. A stake is a bit of wood. So okay, let's call it a bit of wood. Jesus was, yeah, to a bit of wood. Whether his arms were outstretched or not, whether there was a crossbeam or not to support his arms that were stretched out or not, please forgive me for this, is completely irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Okay, don't mean to be offensive. You explain to me how, whether his arms were outstretched or not on a crossbeam, has any relevance to do with the significance that we've just established, with the enormity of what he's just done, giving his life for mankind on his God in that moment, symbolised on your neck. How has it got, whether he had a crossbeam of wood or not, to me, my black and white thinking, is completely irrelevant. And any time wasted arguing, trying to convince someone else whether he had a crossbeam for supporting his arms that were outstretched or not, is completely irrelevant to me. So I refuse to talk about it anymore. See, I've wasted, how long wasted? I've now wasted like roughly 8 minutes talking about that because it's irrelevant. You see? Now imagine if I was spending hours trying to convince you and be really like, no, this is the truth. Well, like, you know, it's like the, you know, was Jesus' ankles and feet fastened with one pin or two? I would actually say I'm not answering that, and I would ask you to answer the question: what relevance does it have? You know. So to me, it's again intent and relevance. Does it have any relevance? Is it a metaphor? If something in the Bible doesn't sound physically realistic, then straight away I'm like, okay, well it means something else. Let's try and think of it. What else could it mean? Because obviously that's what the other problem with the Bible. It speaks about real life events, but it also speaks about in metaphors and examples and acronyms, you know, and like I try and do. You know, when Jesus, he gave, as I put in my online thing, Jesus gave many legendary talks to people and advice. When I say talks, I mean advice, helpful. You know, daily life stuff as well, everything. And the reason people listen to Jesus, he didn't pay them, okay, he didn't offer them anything in return. He started talking to a few groups of people, and these groups of people obviously went away and were like, I can't stop thinking about what that bloke said. I've never thought about stuff like that before, but he's right. And do you know what? Ian has probably said to his missus back in the day, do you know what? I reckon, you know what our bloke was saying? That, you know, oh yeah, he seemed all right. Yeah, he did seem all right, yeah. Mate, he said about this, maybe we should do that. Well, life's not really great at the minute, is it? So why not? Let's try it. Oh, that's why I married you. You're open-minded like me, I like you. That's probably, or is that just my future wife, whoever she is? But yeah, so then they probably followed, you know, went along with it, and like, I'd imagine obviously good stuff happened. And maybe that happened to multiple people. Obviously, they told their relatives, people lived in communities. It wasn't, you know, so if one person knew something, everyone knew something, really, in that community, I suppose. Everyone saw maybe the change in that person, and how suddenly everything was going well. And even though they've changed, and we didn't think that change would be acceptable, or, you know, like, I'm straight away, I'm like sexual immorality, because that's the one, isn't it? That's the one. That's the tough one. How are you going to change that? Not being rude. That's just how the Bible puts it. So, but yeah, you know, that's mad. That is madness. Stopping all that and going, right, now, one woman for the rest of my life, forever. After doing all that, that is madness. And I honestly think that is the thing that would put everyone off, because it's no one's fault. Look, true life, we're born into sin, we can't help it. Everyone's like, yeah, shag around. Do it, it's fine. Oh, STD, no, it's fine, just get some cream, do it again. Oh no, but bigger one, no, it's fine, don't tell anyone. You know, no, it'll keep you. Oh no, again, bam, 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 pinball, damn, back to the start. For me anyway. But not that I used to do, you know, not that I didn't, I'm doing that thing again, not that I didn't, but not that I was some legend or anything, you know. I got my scraps here and there. So yeah, but not anymore, you see. And now I don't mind. It's alright, my life, innit? And yeah, I'm happier. I get a lot less hassle in general now, and I am happier. There's downsides to it, obviously, especially if you're really good at it and you're good looking. That'll be hard. If you're the sort of person that just has to ring someone and not have to make like a 2-week effort to get yourself looking good and then go out with a rose in your pocket and some vodka in the other. But yeah, if it naturally comes to you and that, it's going to be real tough, isn't it? But you know, the more you battle with something, the greater the victory. That's really good as well, as something I've noticed. and it gives you a buzz, you know, it's good.